So Sonic the Hedgehog 2, finally, I got a chance to watch it while on my plane ride home from my vacation, and this is the sequel to the original film from a couple of years ago, of which I actually really liked. And here we are now with the sequel, of which I also really liked. Basically, I'm on the same wavelength for this movie, and I think they're just both equally good. So this movie follows Sonic on another brand new adventure of his, as he's now basically getting himself into the world of Earth and all of its customs, along with living with his new family. The family, of course, of which is played by James Marsden and Tika Sumpter. Both, as like they were in the first, are also very good here and bring a lot to helping out Sonic on his adventures. This time around, while they are both on vacation, he's left home to watch the family dog, and in the process, we find out that Dr. Eggman, which of course is played by Jim Carrey, manages to escape off the mushroom planet that he got trapped on in the first film and brings back along a brand new friend of his, which is the character of Knuckles from the Sonic universe, who is voiced by Idris Elba. And right off the bat, you got a pretty simple plot to follow along, and I think this time around there is certainly a lot to enjoy here, but also at the same time, there is some stuff that can be seen as detracting from the main story. All the stuff to do with Knuckles and Sonic going at each other along with Dr. Robotnik in the background is really, really good here, whether it's them fighting each other or it's their banter that they have back and forth. And speaking of Idris Elba as Knuckles, I thought he was really good here in the movie, and of course, everybody knows Idris Elba, especially from his voice, and I think here it is really cool to hear from that kind of character. Ben Schwartz as the character Sonic is also, again, really good here in this movie, and I think his voice really does suit that character. It's just very distinct for the type of character that they are portraying Sonic as in this film universe. And getting into the plot of the movie, basically the idea is that Knuckles and Eggman are trying to retrieve the Master Emerald from the tomb that will ultimately give them all the power in the world, which in some cases can be a very big plot convenience for a lot of people, but in the end, that is just how that item is used, and it works in the games, and that's just a part of the game's lore. And ultimately, it does end up getting used to that degree in the main conflict of the film. When the battles are happening and the action is on screen, it is really, really well shot. And of course, just the way that the camera is used to shoot it all, along with the CGI on screen, I just think that this is one of the better looking films that you could possibly look at from that perspective. Oh, and also, I might drop a couple of spoilers here, so you've been warned if you haven't seen the film as of right now, but it's been out for a couple of months, so I might go into a few things. Basically, when we get to the final battle of the film, and Sonic gets the powers of the Master Emerald, and spoiler, here we go, and he turns into Super Sonic, I thought that was maybe the coolest part of the entire film. And ultimately, that in turn ends up helping him defeat Dr. Robotnik, who, by the way, speaking on Jim Carrey as this character, because I'm going to kind of get into some of the criticism of the film here, starting with him. I think Jim Carrey is good again, like he was in the first movie as this character. However, I will say that this time around, I felt as though his character was a little bit too over the top as compared to how he was in the first. Like, don't get me wrong, he's obviously very over the top in the first movie, but it felt like it was just a little toned down in that movie as compared to him where he is now in this one, and he's just completely doing everything that you could possibly imagine. I mean, he's doing the floss dance at one point, and then in one scene they made his voice auto-tuned to the 10th degree going into a musical number, and it just felt like it was a little too weird for me. Again, I know it's a kids movie and they did that for the kids, but even then I don't think you needed stuff like that in this movie. Another criticism I have of this movie is regarding the whole wedding scene plot, and I'm sure if you've seen other people's reviews, you know that this is maybe the biggest problem people have with this film, and it's maybe mine as well. I still don't know why that needs to be such a big thing in the movie. Like, I understand why it's there, but it felt like they tried to do too much with it as we were approaching the end of the film, to the point where I just didn't care about anything that was happening there. And of course, a lot of it had to do with the human side of the movie, which you are not necessarily there to see. And speaking of human characters, listen, I'm sure the guy is a really nice dude in real life, and he is a good actor who plays the cop Wade, but he's just so unnecessary in this movie. I thought his character was insanely dumb and stupid for who he is as basically the acting sheriff of the town that Sonic is in. And again, the actor did a good job, but man, was he just so unnecessary to this plot. And honestly, thinking on it now, it's so funny how all of my criticisms have to do with the human-related stuff in the film. Like, I'm pretty much like, I liked everything that had to do with the characters of the Sonic universe, but whenever anything human-related came on screen, that's usually where my criticisms lie. But to round out this review, I thought I'd talk about the post-credit scene, and again, spoilers if you haven't seen this movie, but we got the introduction of the character of Shadow. Listen, I never thoroughly played any of the Sonic games before, so I'm not too well versed on the lore of the Sonic universe, but from what I've heard and from what I've seen, he is basically one of the biggest characters in the universe of Sonic, other than, your characters like Sonic and Knuckles. And to some degree, he is one of the more bigger villains to the Sonic character, if not the biggest. So I am definitely curious to see where they go with him in the third film. Also, to talk on the character of Tails, who I didn't mention, he was all right in the movie. I mean, I didn't think he was super annoying. I know there are definitely some people who thought he was annoying, but I thought he was just all right in the film. He was able to help Sonic on his adventure. He's basically the character that's able to come up with all the crazy gadgets and ways to help Sonic get around places. And then also you have Dr. Robotnik's right-hand man, Agent Stone, who is also back in this movie, and I thought, again, he was all right in the film. I don't necessarily know if I need to see him again in the next film, but we'll just have to see. So, all right, there's my review of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It's time now for me to hear what you guys had to say about it. What did you think of the film when you saw it? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you liked the video and you want to see more, you should hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will see you guys all in the next review.